The most restorative act of the day, I find, next to an actual nap or a sleepy meditation, is to collect my thoughts on paper. It isn't just sitting, stopping, so much as focusing jumbling thoughts to a single moving point along the page. Ideas flow through ink, scattered thoughts concentrate, funneled through handwriting, distilling the chaos of the day into a line. Like turning one's attention to the breath, it is an organizing gesture, one thing at a time. The cue to write, as to meditate or nap, is a flailing, forgetful disorderliness. It may come on suddenly, a fractiousness, sometimes after a great sequence of activity immersed in the flow. The cue may be fatigue, anxiety, directionlessness. A notebook and pen in a pocket is the cure-all. It isn't strictly necessary even to sit. I stand in the garden and write quite often, though the purring of small creatures is a welcome harmony. Inevitably, somebody will find the lap irresistible. Dawn writing is accompanied by a cat. The afternoon variety of recent years has featured a kid goat, or several, which is only restful once all hooves and chins are organized and drifting off. Goslings, ducklings, chicks, lap chickens. It's a shared state of peace, reminiscent of the quiet companionship of a milk-drunk baby. Some approximation of silence is ideal. To simply write out what's done and orient to what we're about to do is the manifest purpose. For those of us home-based in work life or life learning, homeschooling or creative practice, in householding or small holding, any method for clarifying and visualizing next actionable steps is the heart of self-direction. It is the manual labor of self-organizing. As skills go, it's glaringly absent from most education. Productivity literature holds some potential, but inevitably fails to follow through on the promise that we could become efficient enough to do it all, and through that, feel at ease. The next steps are not always toward a destination, so much as spiraling around, attending to what is within our reach and responsibility. My beloved notebooks are pocket-sized, blankness filling with inky lines, punctuated in margin and interstices with dots, arrows, underlines. Elsewhere, a larger dot grid notebook catches sketches, plans, checklists, designs, all penciled in with a running chapter list for reference. But the writing book is where I float away on the stream of consciousness. In a disorienting era demanding at once that we know our own thoughts and emotions, that we manage our days, our relationships, and the anxiety and fatigue inherent, and still further that we come up with inventive responses to the crises of our times, pausing to scribble away to clarity is a lifeline. In a moment when our capacity for enough stillness to connect with a deeper imagining of how to co-create a future that avoids collapse, a future premised on meeting the needs of all life, we need tools like this to ruminate, to plan, to move into action and circle back into contemplation, testing our theories at a small scale, then, as we see success, to replicate, distribute, to share what is working across communities, remixing according to diverse and changing needs. We need to be able to pause and think bigger, get clarity on the larger forces, even as we translate new and ancient patterns into the tiniest and most intimate parts of our lives. For me, variations on this practice are the scribble and the sketch, slow contemplation, quieter conversations, dialogues, thinking aloud together, maybe like this in letters, incompanionable messages across the frequencies. This radio companion marks the close of the second season of the Journal of Small Work podcast, as winter deepens here. There are a few ways to stay connected. Subscribe to hear when the new season commences. To find out when long-form films release, I'll leave the mailing list sign up in the show notes. If you like this small work, don't miss my upcoming series of short films. This small work is a remix of a letter to patrons. Find the free letters at appleturnover.tv. And if an immersion in this work would support you, subscribe at patreon.com/appleturnover. Thank you to our film, letter, and radio patrons for your support.